That's it. So. As you can see, look, confidence and movement.
Yeah, please just show it all. Right, hello my friends. Now I am not alone. I am with a gentleman called Tidmarsh. So he lost his children
In 2011.
in 2011. Could you kindly briefly tell what happened, if you don't mind?
Yeah, their mum kept coming and going. You know, she'd come and then whatever reason she'd leave again. And they used this. They told me that she wasn't ever allowed back to the house. And then she was really upset at missing the kids, so I'd come and stay the week so she could spend some time with the kids, have a holiday. And because they then found out about this, they decided to take us to court and remove all 4 of my children. You know, I had to fight. It was a 2-year battle. I got 2 of them home, but in order to keep 2 of them, I had to agree to leave the other 2 in care. Otherwise, they would have put the other 2 up for adoption.
Do you hear that?
So I think.
Do you hear that? Can you just believe it? He's a good, normal guy. I know him for a long time. So he had to agree his 2 other kids will be staying in care, and that he could save his younger children. Is there any limit to this cowardness? Can you just
Yeah.
okay?
It's effectively emotional blackmail, isn't it? It's, you know, they were like, that's how it is. It's just blackmail. Agree to this, otherwise we will adopt your other 2 children. And you know, with the chance of in the future of possibly getting my other 2 out of care, which I recently went back to court for, and that was just, I may as well have just done nothing.
So yes, I understand that you try to cooperate with them
Yeah,
really a lot,
cooperate.
because I was following your story and you following my story. So, and how long are the children in the care already?
I've been in it, what's 2011? It's about 5 years now.
Yes,
Isn't it? That works out. 11,
yes,
12,
yes.
13,
Oh, they are
14,
just
15.
coming now.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. They will establish future emotional
Yeah, it's
partners.
like it now.
All right.
That's all right.
So how old are they now?
Oh right, so my oldest would be, how old is she? She's 12, and my other one that's there is 9.
Right, and
Oh, sorry,
yep.
no, she's 10. 10, sorry, she's 11, yeah, 10.
Right. And could you just explain a bit more what happened with those 2 older children? From what I
Oh right, yeah, Patricia,
understand, when they removed them, they really wanted to come home back very much indeed.
They well wanted to come home. In court, there was no, as they called it, there was nothing negative about their attachment towards both me and Mum. It was only positive.
Can you say it again?
Yeah,
in a court, they confirmed it was nothing wrong
There was nothing
with the
wrong.
attachment to their
The
parents.
attachment was nothing other than positive attachments, meaning that, as the judge said, which indicates that whatever went wrong, it wasn't all bad.
It wasn't all bad. Well,
so
okay.
basically, I was just being a normal parent.
So
We
who
all
was
make mistakes.
a judge? Could you give me names if you
Yeah,
don't mind?
Judge Green.
Judge Green, right? And which court it took place?
Well, that was Medway County Court. Medway County Court.
Medway County Court. So this is the same area as I'm from. So
Yeah.
what exactly judge said? He said it's.
He said we had to go to it was done there, and we had to go and have this one in Dartford.
No. I mean, what he said
And
about
he
your
said,
kids.
and he said this at Dartford. He said, at the closing statements,
Right.
was that all the professionals, as well as all the professionals agreed that our attachment, the children's attachments to the pet, me and Mum, was nothing but positive, which would indicate that it was bad.
It wasn't
In
all
other words, we were being normal parents. They used things such as the house being a mess when they decided to come out at dinner time. And
When
my
they come in
children-
at dinner time.
Yeah. My youngest, who was at the time 18 months old, was, because he wouldn't talk to the social worker when she came out, indicated that he must be not talking to me because there was something wrong with the parenting. My parenting was why the 18
You see, so if someone doesn't want to talk to social worker, it's something wrong with the parenting. Can you just hear what Matt is saying? So obviously they take social services like some sort of superpower which could control human lives. Right. So okay, I understand.
Remember, you got to remember, this isn't an adult, an older child. This is an 18-month-old who is barely talking because they have only just started to learn how to talk. This is, you know, this is a child that sees a social worker once every 2 weeks, and to that child, that person's a stranger.
Let's talk about older children. I'm actually it would be quite interesting to know about fate of your oldest daughter, because from what you told me, she was very much keen to come home, and she really begged to come home, isn't it?
Yeah, my oldest daughter was properly a real daddy's girl. She loved me, she would die for me, she was, you know, and she was there, and then she got put into care with this
And
family.
what happens then when she come in the care?
Well, I'm coming to that. She started saying things on me at contact about her treatment that she was getting whilst in care. And it was clearly about manipulation, and, you know, things such as shouting at her when she asked for something, telling her that she was stupid. So, for example, she asked me to get her an MP3 player for her birthday, but didn't understand how an MP3 player worked. So when I explained it to her, she told them, and they told her that she was stupid, that she wasn't allowed this. She suddenly then stopped wanting to see me. And then, since I have not seen her since Christmas last year, in which she's saying she doesn't want to see me at all. Yeah, I'm to put you on there.
Never mind.
Yeah, so
Both.
that's what's going on there. So I haven't seen her in a year. She has clearly been manipulated. You know, there's other people have suggested the same thing. People that are not in any way related to me or related. They are friends of hers that she was friends, had a best friend at school who was being stopped from seeing her best friend as well. So, but social services don't care because, you know, she isn't telling them, but never consider the fact that she may not be telling the social worker the truth because she's scared herself.
Right. So I understand she was daddy girl and she wanted to come back home. And how did it come a situation which appeared? Can you imagine? You see a child who is begging to come back home, who is really father's daughter. People, can you just, this is a hair should stand on the head. How children could abandon their parents? Please just share it all white. This is a live witness. That's what happened with every child who come to care. They get alienated from their parents. And how did it, and how many times did you see her after this so-called care order?
During the proceedings, the court proceedings, it was 3 times a week.
3 times a week, right.
Then the decisions were made that she wasn't coming home. They reduced that down to once a month. Then it got reduced down to once every 2 months. And now I've got no contact with her whatsoever.
See, it looks like they simply physically prevent her from seeing you.
Yeah.
Physically, just by bloody force. They prevent her, and they tried all they do to cut your attachment.
Yeah, so they've done that completely, stopped it. So I can't go to LAC reviews. I don't get updates on LAC reviews. I don't get told anything about my daughter. The only time I get anything told about my daughter is if something of an emergency came up in which they would need me to consent to something. And you have to consent, because if you don't consent, then it just looks bad on you later on, because I'll say you wasn't looking at the best interest of your child. So you have to effectively agree to whatever they're saying.
Right, and could you just name, who was the name of a social worker who was doing all that?
That social worker at the time of the proceedings was...
Yes.
Adele Rothenberg was the first one.
Can you say it again, please?
Adele Rothenberg was the one who had them
Adele
removed.
Rothenberg, yeah.
And then we had a 5.
You got 5 social workers, oh my God.
And today, in total, from beginning to end, my children have gone through, I think, today it works out 14 different social workers.
Only 14? This
14.
is nothing. My child got about 45, 50 for all this time, yes.
Still.
Minimum 30, you see. That's how best interests of the child being kept.
Irrespective of how many it is, I don't think that's like a competition, but either way, 14 or 44.
Definitely. I'm just trying to be sarcastic.
Yeah, I know. That's all right. I know. Even so, even if it was 2 social workers, it's still too many.
Okay. I just want. So you could see it was this horrible transformation. That loving daughter, and she became in a situation she doesn't feel like to see his father even. Can you imagine that? But you hardly see her. You could make any negative
there was
influences.
Then lies made up saying things like I was turning up at things like sibling contact late when I wasn't, or I wasn't coming on time or getting there on time or picking them up on time, which was all lies. I had all the evidence. They weren't interested just that they had been reported to, and the person who reported these lies was my daughter's carer.
Your daughter's
Yeah,
care.
my daughter's care
So
and
obviously she. I
Yeah.
mean she gets some money for.
Yeah, I don't know how much, but she's pretty loaded. Put it this way, she's got 2 homes. She's got one in England and she's got a second home in France.
So it looks like they're just trying to corrupt your children, isn't it? They just try to corrupt your children and also brainwash to portray father in the worst possible light, and just to cut off links. Listen, this is what even Nazis did not do.
No, at least
My father was in ghetto. He was very lucky. He not only survived, but he was allowed to stay with his family.
Yeah. So they were lucky. I mean, as evil as they were, I guess the humane thing to them was they were actually killing people to put them out of their misery. But they're not killing people here. They're actually taking them and to mourn someone who ain't actually dead.
He practically lost his older daughter. You can imagine, from loving daughter, people just listen to this. And she happened just to become a child, doesn't want to see his dad, who never harmed, he never did anything bad, you see. Okay, could you please tell me, this is a luck review, this so-called look after children review, and this is the building we are staying now.
Yeah, that's one of them.
So, and I believe by law, this luck review people there have to be independent, and sort of to push best interest of the child. So what was the role of this luck officer in your
that
case?
is supposed to be their role.
What was the name of this luck, if you don't mind it?
Oh, what was it? Sorry, her name was Jade. I can't.
Jade.
I don't
Mind.
remember her surname. Jade.
Jade, right? Fine. Never mind. We will find out it. So, and is her position any different from? I mean, how does it work? I mean, that by law they have to make these luck reviews with everybody, school, foster care, children. So
everyone involved.
I'm going tomorrow to luck review, and I'm not allowed to go to all luck reviews. See, I will be only missing, and then they will, separately gather. This is a breach of regulation because I saw regulation. This is not allowed. It's only in very exceptional cases to be allowed.
They're doing the same thing to me with Patricia. I'm not allowed. But that's because they're saying Patricia has said that she doesn't want me there.
But this is all lie, they're saying God knows what things, and
we don't know this. We don't know this. If it was the boot was on the other foot, and I was to turn around and say to them, my daughter says they don't want to speak to you, or my son don't want to speak to you, that's the first thing the social worker is saying. Oh, we need to speak to our child to make sure that that's true. Yeah, if you turn around now and say, well, you told me that my daughter said that, I want to hear my daughter say that myself, so I want to speak to my daughter. No, we can't let you do that. We're not allowed to let you do that.
I can just now, I have now iron proof that he's telling absolute truth.
Yeah.
Because in my case, the social worker, ex-social worker B.C. Archer, whom you remember well, right, whom we just get rid of her, she was saying that she is much concerned that my son is very loyal to me. Just listen what they were concerned. She was concerned that my son was loyal to me, and that is why they had to cut off meetings. So this social worker, I don't want to be too emotional because it's all going live, you see. Think, where is the place of this social work? I think she shouldn't be fit even to work in a prison. And she said to the judge that my son is not interested in more contacts. Too emotional for him. Well, I got a Kafkas officer who basically talked to my child, and he got courage basically to say that no, it's not true. Child wants to see his dad. He wants to come back home. So this ex-BCR was a liar. She lied to the court. What should be done to a person who is lying to the court? This is a perjury, you see?
It is perjury, yeah. Perverting the course of justice, right?
Yeah, and I believe in your case they were also lying all the time. Could you give me some more examples?
Deliberate exaggerations of things.
No, and also just pure lie.
Yeah, pure lies.
For
example, a lie. Eugene's been to my house, and Eugene knows my house.
Yes, I've been in
this nice little cul-de-sac, where the road is fenced off. It's a dead end road. So, for my children to get out of my house or out of my garden, they would have to come out of a 4-foot fence, down the hill, and climb a fence to get onto that road. Social worker turned around and told them in her report that my daughter had done exactly this, had escaped from the house and was down on the road being dangerous. This was a load of rubbish. My daughter was 2 at the time and she would have had to be able to fly in order to unlock the gate that was constantly locked. It's constantly locked now. So,
Right.
you know.
But
So-
why you was not allowed to lock review? I mean, what do you think? Why I'm not allowed to
am I
lock
not allowed
review?
at the lock
Why
review?
he's not allowed to lock review? I know that another person
Because-
from Kent Council also, people whom I know, why you not allowed? It's luck, I know by
Because-
law it
because
has to be everyone.
The IRO will tell you it's to do with the fact that it's the child's meeting about them. And therefore, if it's the child's decision for you not to come, then they have to adhere to that request.
Yeah, but you
But-
cannot check what
but-
child said. you
Exactly,
see.
yeah. And that is what I was coming back to just now. I'll come back to it again, is where if it was the boot was on the other foot and I was saying, well, my child doesn't want to talk to you, they would be telling you, no, we have to go and talk to her anyway, whether she wants you to or not, to confirm that you're telling the truth. But if you was to ask that same question back now, where you're saying my daughter doesn't want to see me at the lack review, I'd like to talk to my daughter and find that out for myself, you'd be told, no, you're not allowed to do that.
so
you have to believe us.
You have to
accept
believe
what
us.
we're
But
telling
I already gave you example of lie. And my friends, I made under our video, my friends, which I will be basically producing in due course, and it's clearly they're just like, okay, so you see a man in front of you who lost his older daughter. Can you imagine that? The same, please, you know what I mean?
Remember, I've got 2 children in care.
He
not
has
just
2
one,
children.
yeah.
Yes, we are coming to it.
we
So
come to
you have another
our-
younger daughter.
I have another younger daughter
So-
who's so messed up that she is now.
She was messed up. So basically, she was damaged in the
Yeah,
foster care.
damaged by them, not me. Damaged by them.
How she
By
was
them.
damaged?
By
What
them.
what,
Well, they
what
started-
happened?
Well, we were doing really well. Everything was positive. She had a really good carer. A carer that I even liked, to be fair.
Right.
She was really lovely. She adored my daughter. So much so that when the decision was made, that
Right.
she decided to take her on full time. She didn't bear the thought of her going to someone else and learning
Right.
all again. Which shows that she was a really good carer. She wasn't in it other than for the best interest of the child. And
Right.
She did love her.
Right.
So, therefore, it was positive. Suddenly, in August of, 2014, they decided that it was time for my contact with my daughter to reduce to 2 monthly.
To reduce, you see, so it was
reduce.
relatively
Nothing wrong. There was
okay.
nothing going wrong.
They just
There was
wanted to reduce
they
contact.
decided to
Actually,
reduce
cruel,
it.
evil people
reduce it in compliance with the court order.
in compliance with
The court
court
order. The court order that was made. Let me, if I correct, I have to correct now. I'll have
So
to-
it was too good for them, you know, for this evil.
It was going too well. They decided to do this 15 months after the court proceedings had ended.
So
to
they
make the
didn't comply
decision.
with the court
No,
order.
not straight away.
They don't care about court
No, they
orders.
didn't care
They
about
don't
it
care.
for the first
No, they never
15
care about
months.
court
Didn't
order.
care about it for the first 15 months. But
Okay,
clearly
okay.
Things were going well.
Okay, they decreased contacts, and what happened then?
After then my daughter went off the wall. My daughter started becoming very violent, aggressive towards her carer, not wanting to go to school and doing the same things there, to the point that the placement broke down.
You see?
Broke down. And when it broke down, and I asked them, they came out to my house in November and they spoke to me, and I asked them, when did this start? And they said around August time, and I said to them, around the time that you reduced that contact. To which I was told, no, it was definitely to do with school. When we had a lack review with relations to the school were quite clear, she's not having these problems at school. This is not because of school. She's got friends at school, she's doing well, she has friends. This is not to do with school. Whatever problems she had in contact had nothing to do with school. And it clearly had nothing to do with me either. This then continued to the second carer, which then broke down again because she did the same thing again. And then it happened again on the third carer. And by the third carer, they were still accusing me. Because they had no evidence, they started saying I was telling my daughter stuff on contacts, which I wasn't.
Could you remember names of a social
Yeah,
worker? Just slowly, tell them slowly, we'll just expose them.
Rhoda Genado.
Okay,
was her
say
name.
it again. Rhoda?
Rhoda
Yes.
Genado.
Rhoda Genado. Can you try to spell her second name? Okay, no worries, no
my
worries.
spelling's really bad.
No, okay, no worries. This is
Really
all those
bad.
difficult names.
Yeah.
Never mind, we'll find out
Yeah.
later. Okay, and can you name another manager of?
I was the manager. You know
of
what?
your-
I didn't really deal with the managers. I've all learnt all about the managers from you. You know.
You'll-
So yeah, from you, yeah. So
Right.
what was I thought she had I think we have spoke about. She had an Anne. A manager one time was Anne. What was it? Anne something. Anne.
But it was times ago. Maybe
That was
she
what-
maybe
that's
she's
what
not
ages ago.
even here
Whoever the
anymore.
managers are now, the managers are the same managers that the same directors and they'll be the
Yeah.
same managers.
Who is
no doubt.
who is your social worker? Do you know who your social worker?
Well,
is?
you know what? They've just changed social worker, which I've not spoken to or seen yet. But all I know is her name's Teresa. I had to go down there today, in fact, to get travel warrants that they were supposed to send me for the lack review that I'm going to on Thursday. and they've still not sorted out my contact with my daughter for this Christmas contact.
So they didn't care. The daughter.
Yeah.
So okay, I just want to summing up. You see, it was more or less okay in the foster care. I believe it was huge trauma from separation, which somehow was hidden. But when they decreased contact with his father,
Yeah.
it was broke down. She couldn't stand this foster care. She couldn't stand second foster care. And third foster shows she was damaged.
Yeah.
Her psyche was damaged.
Yeah. So to the point where they, in the end, their only option was to stick her, move her out of the county, move her right out of the area into a therapeutic foster home.
Foster physical. You know, they took a healthy child, and
Yeah.
I believe she was fine when she
was
stayed.
fine, yeah,
she was fine. You know, they ruined this
Yeah.
child as well. They ruined my child. They ruined child of Sarah Ruth. When can we stop this criminal Medway Children's Services operate? When we can stop it? If anyone can stop it, please, for the God's sake. When they will stop ruining children? Okay, just let's come to, if you don't mind, to luck review.
Go on.
Just
Luck reviews are a waste of time.
it's a waste of time. Why it is a waste of time?
Independent reviewing officer, that is just giving somebody a name, another person to pay to push paper around. They don't do nothing other than agree with the social worker. As soon as the social worker says something, they will agree to it. The only time they don't agree with the social worker is when it's something the IRO has decided and the social worker's agreeing to it anyway. Other than that, the social worker, you know, if everything they're supposed to, for example, they're supposed to consider all changes of circumstances.
Yes.
Therefore, they're
exactly.
supposed to consider, is it still in the best interest of the child to remain in care?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I like I said, I had 4 children removed. I got 2 of them back who live with me now. They had closed the case within a year of me, saying they had no concerns. Boom, and they've not had any concerns. They've been living at home with me now 3 years, with no more involvement from them. Therefore, my
Yeah, we'll just show
Okay,
this
sorry, yeah.
this
Therefore,
placard.
therefore my significant, I had massive significant changes which were dismissed by the IRO because the social worker said it is not of our opinion that my daughter should return home to my care, and because of that the IRO refused to consider anything other than what the social worker said, indicating that for an independent person she wasn't acting independent at all.
Her name was Jane, you're saying?
Jade.
Jade. J-A-D-E.
Yeah, that's it, Jade.
Well, if she's
Jade.
still here, because they're flying here and they're traveling
Yeah,
all
I
over
think
the council.
I'm
I mean, you can imagine this director of children's services and Dominique. She managed to change, I believe, 6 councils in a 5 time. You see.
I see.
So they're flying all over the place, these people. I just want to ask you another thing. So you were just finished from court procedures.
Yeah.
And you were trying to get your daughters back,
Yeah.
in particular younger daughter, and she
Yeah.
also wanted to come home.
Yeah.
So what was the reason? How did it work? You really tried to work with them together.
I
with
did,
Medway
yeah, I
Council.
did, you know.
You really tried to cooperate with them, isn't it?
At the end of the final the proceedings
Yep.
of all 4 children in 2013, the Guardian said to me that I should always try to work with the local authority. You know, write them a letter, everything, do the things that you need to do. If they don't want to, ask them why. I did everything. I wrote a letter asking them, said, look, this is my changes of circumstances. I had even a psychologist.
You had even a
A
psychologist.
psychologist agreeing with me.
Oh,
you
this
know.
is quite
So,
rare, yeah, you
so
see.
Even had a
He was lucky,
psychologist,
yeah.
even a psychologist agreeing with me that my daughter should have the opportunity to come home. Anyway, so obviously I've done everything. I've agreed to things, even when I've not wanted to agree to them. I've agreed to them on the principle, well, if I do it now, it'll be good stead later on, and it will be a good thing. Pointless. I might as well have not pointless. I might have not bothered working with them at all. For what good it did, all I got in the end of it was an extra half an hour with my
Half an
daughter.
hour. Can you see?
An
So
extra
after
half an
all this
hour.
court procedure, massive
With
wasting of taxpayers' money, he got
Yeah.
a half an hour. So how long?
Half an
How
hour.
often can we see your daughter?
Once every 2 months still.
Every 2 months. Evil people.
An extra half an hour a month on my contract, once every 2 months, and they are still with the idea that they will replace her back into care. So their whole plan is to put her back into the care system.
Oh, you see, so
not return her home.
they ruined this child. They ruined this child. They put her back to a special therapeutic placement, rather than put it back to his father. They put her to some, treatment, and they have a plan to return her to care. This is the evil people, and this structure has to be. I don't know. There could be some good social workers. I got experience of some good.
I ain't going to sit here and slate every single social worker. There are some really good. Social workers
some good social workers, but
social workers that actually joined to do and make a difference and to actually help people. There are so many social workers that are, what do they call them? They are career social workers.
Yeah.
They are just there because they want to get promotion and they want to get money.
Yeah, but what happened, from my experience, every social worker who wanted to help me, he was just removed.
Yeah.
He was just removed.
That comes down to higher management though, doesn't it? Higher management, that's what it is. As soon as you annoy higher management, as soon as you hire management, your cards are marked by everybody. There are studies that prove and suggest that once you are disliked within a department, the whole department will dislike you and will do it.
I mean, there is only to the studies. I mean, exactly. So it's like an army, They give order and everyone have to comply.
And everyone follows it, And that's how it is. As soon as you've done it, and I know this from my own case, and they will go out their way to badmouth you. I remember in my case them turning around, and I had a toothache. I was really quite ill, and suddenly one day, fire brigade turned up at my house. The fire brigade turned up at my house.
Oh my God.
Asking if they can check the fire alarms and stuff. So not a problem, let them in. And my house was a bit of a mess because I was a single parent, 4 young children, very ill.
It is not a crime to have a messy house. It's not a reason to remove children even, I would say.
It's not a crime.
Not a crime at all.
And when you're ill as a single parent, the energy I was saving was the energy for when my children got home from school.
You don't need to look for it. It's your home, you see. As long as you could be messy or not messy, it doesn't make any difference. It's your life, you see.
You are right. You are right. Don't get me wrong, but I saw the memo to this referral to the fire brigade, which said, "Do not let anyone go alone because this person is very manipulative."
What?
It was me. They were saying I was very manipulative and not to let any female person go alone.
Oh, man.
It was complete and total lies. But the person who sent the request was blacked out, which I understand you've had problems with that, where they're blacking names and things out, aren't they?
Yeah,
and
all the time. Yeah. I mean, you see, if they see hard evidence, they're simply just ignoring that.
Yeah.
They're just ignoring that. I also put change of circumstance. Well, my friend, change of circumstance. They labeled me with some trauma. Can you imagine? Because my father, 84 years old, he was in ghetto after 70 years after the war, labeled me with inherited psychological trauma, and that's why my child should be in care. And judge said, Eugene, this man must get, treatment. So Eugene tried to cooperate with the court. I visited 3 doctors, 3 professionals. None of them find nothing. So then should bring my child back.
Yes, that's what
what I mean? And this last review by her name is Sally Plant, if you forgive my pun. She was trying sort of implant some sort of idea about Lego toy, about which I already told. I mean, you can't keep a child in care because of Lego toy. And then what the people do is obviously going against British government, because I try to explain my son meaning of UNCRC Convention, UN Convention on Children's Rights. They just kicked me out because they said your child cannot know about his rights because it would destroy his foster placement. He must know. He could call me anytime. He could come to home anytime. No one can keep him by force. And that is the reason why they won't put me just 4 times a year to see my child. This is evil people. I mean, sorry that I'm swearing, but you know what I mean? To see my own child 4 times a year because of the Lego toy.
Yeah. Consider this, right? I recently had I knew somebody who recently went to prison, and I went to visit them, and they told me that they were entitled to one visit once a week.
Once a week. So they say children once a week. So we're treating worse than criminals. You see?
Yeah, 2 hours. So you can break the law. So this doesn't matter what you've done. You can break the law. This is entitlement. So I could effectively go out, murder Eugene, get put to prison for this, found guilty, put to prison, and still see my loved ones once a week, every week, for the rest of my life that I'm in prison. Yeah, a child that has done nothing wrong gets removed from their parents and then is denied that same right, and they've not broken any laws or done anything wrong.
And I just want to put your attention on a case of Sarah Root. People who don't know, I will send another link. So she lost her children. She hadn't seen for 6 years. All her fault was she didn't accept their staying in care, you see. That's what she ended up. So we have now already 3 people. I'm sure you know much more people at the same situation, but they're afraid to go to show up.
Yeah, they are afraid. They can't fight. They get threatened. As I was saying to you, you've been threatened, haven't you? They've tried taking an injunction out to stop you.
Yes, they want to put me to prison now. Well, I wish them all good luck with it.
The way they're going on is almost like Eugene's breached national security by something.
Yeah, terrorists.
Terrorism, and that's just not the case. He's fighting an injustice that's happened.
Well, basically, what I done, I'm naming and shaming social worker, and I think this is a free country, and you can name and shame anyone you like. You can name and shame members of the parliament, even royal family. But if you name and shame social workers, they drag you to prison. Can you imagine? This is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, this feeling, the people, they lost the reality feeling. They lost where they are. They forgot they are not in some. I don't even cannot choose a country. You know what I mean? I would tell North Korea, but I don't think North Korea they know this concept of future emotional harm.
We can't even go by North Korea because it's Western media that's telling us all the rubbish. It might be great in North Korea. I can't even trust our own media.
Well, okay, just let's concentrate on children. So now you see your daughters, after all this massive waste of taxpayers' money, massive struggle, stress, they put 30 minutes more for you to see your children.
Yeah.
So that's all what you get.
Basically, and listen, this is the thing, and I remember this in court. My barrister, because the children's social worker didn't turn up for both the first 2 hearings. No, they sent someone who had no idea of the case. Not even the manager knew about the case. Should just let the social worker.
What? They didn't know.
No one knew about the case other than the social worker who was off ill or whatever it was, whatever rubbish.
So they went to court, and none people know why they are in the court. What's going on in the court? This is crazy. This is the final court hearing.
I remember my barrister saying about the idea that we should make social services pay for this, not the taxpayer. I want to make this clear. Yes, that isn't it, but still, the taxpayer is still going to pay because they're not charity-run social services.
Let me tell something about this point. It's really shocking. In one of my hearing times ago, there was a lady. I tried to struggle with her, but it doesn't work anymore. From Philippines. So she went to holidays on the Philippines, having a nice time with the family, with a boyfriend. But there was some court hearing, you see. So she was kept staying in the Philippines, and court came and she was not there. And then they called the Philippines and said, I can give evidence by mobile phone if you want. Seriously, you see. But after some deliberation, Judge Hamilton, circuit judge said, no, we can't make her evidence by mobile phone. We have to wait till she have all rest and she'll come back to give evidence. So they changed all hearing for this social worker. I think the judges, like Judge Hamilton, they should change her job and come to work as a social worker. And I got the same situation with Judge Scarat. You see, he's the most senior judge of Kent. With all my respect to law, to British law, because I respect law, but how it is sanely possible the judge listens to social worker who cannot even speak and write proper English, and who social worker said, no, the child cannot know his rights, he cannot see UN Convention rights 4 times here. That's what all fathers should see. And he prepared her evidence because she is a social worker.
Yeah.
So anyone they can rest in the Philippines, go all over the world, not give a damn. Anyway, we should think, and so okay, I just try to describe what's going on. So for my friends, you could see not my own case; it's case of many people in America.
It is a Medway, and it isn't just Medway; it is over the whole of the UK. But me and Eugene, we're dealing with our own.
We are in a Medway. We are talking about our personal experience. You see.
Yeah. But this will be a personal experience that is shared by a huge amount of people across the UK. This ain't just unique to us, It's just good that me and Eugene do know, and we know each other, and we are going through or have been through the same experience, because people who haven't experienced this just assume that we're guilty of whatever it is that we've had our children removed for. We are guilty.
Well, I was in your home. I know you. You don't drink.
No.
I mean, you don't use drugs. I mean, you are absolutely fine. You have nice home. You care 2 children. So what's the heck of the problem? Why cannot your child back?
And I've got a stepson who is just sitting over there at the minute.
Ah, right.
My stepson.
Lovely.
So we ain't having him on the camera. I don't think it's appropriate for him to be on the camera.
Okay, good.
As it is, but he is there and he's waiting. So we're going to have to go in a minute, people.
Right.
If that's okay.
Yeah, fine,
'cause
okay.
I've got to go and get my other two from school.
We described
Yeah.
all things. Yeah, I have also go to my private lessons later, but I will keep those protests. And I'll see even if I'm coming, I'll just make a megaphone. So, right.
And
So
what we'll do, Eugene, while everyone's online, we'll try sorting it out, and we'll go for a proper walk at the weekend or something when everyone's off work, so we can get more people can watch. Because they've got free time, and then we could just talk and go for a walk somewhere nice.
Yeah, definitely.
And film where we're walking and just chat.
Yeah, or you can choose some morning and come to another offices of this
we can do that,
council.
but I'm thinking we can do as well, like that, as well as that, as one that isn't, you know, like an update one that isn't related to, is related to it, but we can do that in our own time when other people are off of work and stuff across the world, maybe off at the weekend, not working, or you know, so you get more.
Last, I want just to tell about something. What now actually government is discussing these IRO officers. I believe government wants to cut off their funds or whatever it is, because government put this position in order to control social workers. So they get paid by the same council. Sometimes they sit opposite social workers. Obviously, their function could be potentially good if they are really independent. But from what I know, in medical council, they are not. They are not.
In my opinion, independent should be that, you know, they are not getting paid by that firm in any way.
But they were offered this option and they refused. They refused to be paid by anyone else.
If the IRO works for any authority, wherever that is in the UK, even if it's a different authority, it's no different. They're still not independent.
You see, so I believe government wants to basically to privatize partly all this industry. And they are vehemently against, because they're afraid they will lose their money if they will be, privatized.
To be fair, if an IRO was privatized, that means that now they are getting paid by me, and you can pay them to do that job, then they would be independent.
Yeah.
They would be independent because we would be able to say, well, we're going to pay you to do that now.
It's not even necessary that they be paid for us, to be not all subjective, but I'm sure in this great country could be some institution who could be really independent. And they will try to save taxpayers' money, not to waste taxpayers' money, and then this Sally Plant will try and say, ha, Eugene, you'll do this. They don't give a monkey, you see.
The point is, it's the same principle as legal aid, yeah? If you've got the money to pay for your own solicitor, you're guaranteed to get a solicitor who will do their job, because they know that if they don't do their job, you'll just stop, won't pay them. They'll lost the day, so they'll try really hard if you're paying them. On legal aid, they get that money, win, lose or draw, they'll get that money. They'll still be paid. So they don't have to put in the effort, because they know they're still going to get paid. So if you've got a system in place, like an IRO and a system in place where they ain't guaranteed their money, they will make sure they do their job properly. And if that makes it a private industry, I'd rather it be private and they know that anybody can pay for it.
Yes.
Therefore, they are going to do their utmost, not just listen to the social worker, because at the moment...
Are you social worker or IRO officer? No answer.
No, I was going to answer.
No answer.
Got to look for the badge.
No badge. Sorry. She's not social worker.
Got to look for the badge.
She's not social worker, sir.
Mind you, it is cold, so the badge could be underneath.
Sorry to confuse you. See,
so,
maybe some sort of secret social worker, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's all it's really a tragedy. This man, he lost her daughter, imagine just imagine from loving child, she transformed to a child doesn't want to see his father. Can you imagine that? I'm sorry that I use this, it is not an evil, just tell me what this evil is, And they want the same to do with my son, those people. So now you understand why I'm so anxious, you see.
If the system was trustworthy and we could trust that system, then I'm pretty sure that me and Eugene would have had our kids back easy.
Well, there is no reason why I should be in care, but it's a matter of another conversation.
What I'm saying is, had the system been not corrupt, then we would have got our kids back from the beginning. We wouldn't be here today doing this.
Yes, definitely. They wouldn't even take children, you see. There is no...
Because there would not be any evidence. There'd be no evidence.
So they ruined his child, and now they give him treatment for what? Not to bring him home, but to put him back to care.
Yeah.
You see? This is absolute evil. They ruined my child when they introduced him with those adult electronic games, you see, and they put blame on me.
And electronic, yeah, you're right, yeah. The thing is that, you see, if I didn't have 2 more children, you see, I've got to always can worry about the 2 children at home, because they can use those 2 children to stop me from fighting for my other 2 children.
Yes, definitely.
By threatening to remove them children. you know.
Yeah.
Therefore, I have to be very aware of what I'm doing all of the time. This is why I can't always join Eugene on protests and stuff, because I can't always go online and talk about things. That lady works for him. She's a
this
social
lady works
worker.
for her.
She's a social worker. She's a social worker.
She's a social worker.
I know her. I don't know her name, but I do.
So name of a social worker, it was Jade. No, our office was Jade.
Jade. No, the IRO, Jade. The social worker was Rhoda Ginady.
Rhoda Ginady.
Ginady.
And you have no clue who is the social worker now?
No, other than her name's Teresa. Oh no, tomorrow, no.
I see, Teresa. So disgusting, all that.
Right then, Eugene.
Okay.
I'm going to go.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Okay.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Nice to see you again, Eugene. And we'll talk some more on the phone, right? I'm going to go, people.
Yeah.
Nice,
my regards to all of you. Thank you for following me. I'm on the Periscope also every now and then. Thank you for your time, really, gentlemen. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
He's on my friends list, so
yep.
On the Periscope, so you can find all his videos. He does a lot more than me. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Take an interest, you know.
Okay. Thank you so much. Cheers. What is it? What is the time now? What's the time?
The time is
about 2.
Yeah, it's coming up 2 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you.
Is that all right? Yeah, you going, yeah?
Yes. Yes. I'll be here for a while. Yes. So I hope you get impression about what's going on in these so-called children's services. Well, as we said, there are some people who work and who are okay, but they are not allowed to deal with it. I just want to read some psalm just to get my head a bit more fresh from all that. My favorite, one of my most favorite Psalm 13. How long wilt thou forget me, O Lord, forever? How long wilt thou hide thy face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? How long shall mine enemy be exalted over me? Consider and hear me. O Lord my God, lighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest mine enemies say, I have prevailed against him, and those that trouble me rejoice when I am moved. But I have trusted in thy mercy, my heart shall rejoice by thy salvation. I will sing unto Lord, because he has dealt bountifully with me. Amen. I'll still be here protesting. Let my son come home, and Domini, director of Medway Children's Services. Return my son or resign. Stop wasting taxpayers' money. My son needs his father, not foster placement. Let my son come home. I got email from Sally Plant in regards of tomorrow luck review. Well, we already. So my child will be not there. No one is there. Not quite sure what's the sense of this meeting, but I will go on this meeting. I will produce her email. I will produce everything actually. She's saying that this is not a luck review, but it's something to take my views. In few lines later on, she writes, no, you can't get minute taker because it's luck review. And minute takers don't come to luck reviews, which is a lie, because there was minute taker before. They are so arrogant. Absolutely limitlessly arrogant people. But I think this time they took a wrong child. They took wrong child. Hello everybody. Right, it's about 2 o'clock. I also received letters yesterday from solicitor of counsel. She says, Eugene, what's the problem? There was court order, your child stay in care. At another court order, you see your child 4 times a year. There's only what is left to decide is whether you go to prison or not. I remind you about promise I gave to my child, promise I gave to him, and I say it again. He come back home via some procedures, whatever they want, or they can put me to prison if they want. But I wish them all good luck with it. I will try with my friends to spread this news all over the place. People will know what is going on. There are some surprise actions which I will inform you in a due course. You know my placard, you can see this placard again. It was also on a Periscope. I kindly ask you to join Twitter and Periscope, please. Yeah, it was quite a sad story with this guy. I know him, he's a nice chap, you see. Nothing wrong with him. So they alienate child of him, they try to alienate my child, they try to alienate a child of Sarah Root. She was this solicitor, she is living Medway Council. Her name is Jackie Sansom, and it's all could be done very simply. It's enough for these people to change care plan and it will be all settled. But you see how they damage children. It was more or less okay with the foster care with this guy, and they cut off meetings with his father. I think only complaints is not enough, because they don't care about our complaints. I think the only thing what those people are aware, they have to be brought to law, because there is some law here as well. They have to remind about their duties, what they should do. They have no even complaint procedure, so they see those, as they think, helpless victims. They're simply having fun about that, you see. They are very good trained, and they use this training, you see. There is one thing which they strongly dislike. It's a sense of exposure. And by decision of Sir Manby, social worker could be criticized, very harshly criticized. They could be imprisoned even. I'm not sure how far this statement does, but I'm sure that in my case I criticize them in a very civilized manner, in a very civilized way. I didn't pester them. I did not come to placement of my son. I didn't come to his school. So they will have to accept it will continue, or they can try to put me to prison. If they put me to prison, it will only intensify, because I'm sure that my friends will expose it more and more, till they will return my child. I have no any intentions to stop. I'm not going to be on my knees to wait 4 times a year to see my son. For what? I don't want to repeat myself. But he explained that even criminals see their children every week. Think about that. Criminals. I would also invite people to concentrate about this particular council. Let politicians discuss all system, people who are in this group who have some connections. You see? I want my son back. This poor child. Can you imagine that he didn't know his mom? He's had only carer. And these people whom I can only call these disgusting people, they cut my contacts and physically prevent my son from seeing his father. Well, I better go to prison. I'm not going to accept it. No way. They don't need courts to change. And then the solicitor writes to me again about court level of contacts. I don't want to repeat. They can do whatever they want. So that's about it. Sally Plan, she breached IRO regulations, her handbook. Last time she made basically perjury. She wrote a letter when I was included in a meeting where I was not. So when I put this document in front of her, what she said? Oh, it was computer glitch, mistake of computer. Never mind. I am with the Bible here. I trust in God, and God will help me. It will not last too long. To physically separate child from the father, not to allow him, just think about that. This BC Archer, this so-called ex-social worker now, she doesn't work with my son anymore. She was concerned that my son loves his father. So I wish the social worker to rot in hell, if this hell exists. Please don't be too harsh to me, yes, because God can also punish people. Try probably to move on now, maybe outside with the placard, because they don't seem to come outside. See, children are coming now from school. It's about my child. He's the same school child as you are, and I'm not allowed to see him. I did nothing wrong. I own my home. I have money. They just took my child. You see, isn't it horrible?
Yeah, that's not cool, man.
Well, it's not cool at all. Now you see your child 4 times a year. I mean, you know what I mean? They have no problems with me, but they say because of Lego toy. Can you imagine that? He's a child. He's a teenager. He likes to play Lego, but more promoted model, you see. So he likes, so he said, please just buy me this and that model. Said, you don't understand his interest because you talk about Lego toy. This is insane. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Okay. Okay, never mind. Yeah. See, children are passing by. Guess no one cares until they get it by themselves. Never mind. I will do what I can. Name and shame everybody who damaged my child. Everybody. I will keep them personally responsible for it. And then they try to implant in my son's brain that I'm Very strange to make those protests, very strange. So what is not very strange? To accept your child stay in care. That's how they operate with children. That's how they operate with children. Now they'll be going to Royal Court of Justice to try to put me to prison. Put me to prison. So we see here this again place when all adoptions come in, conference meeting rooms, all those parents, they get meetings here, losing their children because of the high management. So unless Domini would like to work with me constructively, nothing will happen. Who would not fight for his own child? Okay, I'll just move to another place. We try to put on a periscope. I will come back. Thank you for your time.